Okay, everybody, we're here for podcast number 3 with Dave Miller, Canadian national champion in the light heavyweight division. Just recently at this past weekend's Canadian Nationals. Dave, how's it going, man?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm really good, man. Really happy that you came on here. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
So, Dave, we'll just get right into it, man. By the way, I'm not sure if you met Randy before, but this is Randy Madsen. He's my co-host.
Yeah, I met Randy backstage at the Flex, actually.
Oh, okay.
First time. That was the first time.
Okay, right on. So you guys already met, so that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, Dave. So just tell us who you are and how you got into bodybuilding.
All right. Well, like I said, my name is Dave Miller, and I've been training about 19 years. And I just started in a small town in Newfoundland, just in my basement training. My brother got me into the sport. And, probably about 14, 15 years old, I just got started and just using dumbbells, just doing bench press and biceps all day, basically. And one thing just led to another, and I started eating, and I started seeing gains, and I started enjoying it and started getting into it. And it just kind of bit me in the ass, and I just never stopped since. So I did my first contest in 2005. Actually, I was a junior.
So let me stop you for a second.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to first compete, the first to a show? Was there another bodybuilder in your town or something, or did your brother push you to do it, or how did you get inspired to first do your show?
Yeah. So there was a guy in town. He's actually from Clarenville, which is about an hour and a half from my hometown, and he was going to school doing a welding program. And my brother actually met him at the college, and he, after doing one or two shows back in, I think, 98, 99, and provincials in Newfoundland. And so my brother at the time didn't know anything about competing. So he's just telling him about what he got to eat and how to train and stuff. So they kind of just welded some gear together and put it in the basement, and two of them started to train. And I used to go down and just watch them and just to, see what it's all about. And he was talking about competing, and he was showing us some pictures from back in 99 when he was in shape on stage against some of the guys that I knew back in the day. And, it was just from there, it kind of, got inspired to compete. I was like, well, I'm just going to train and eat, and maybe one of these days I'll get on stage. So that's pretty much where it started, man.
So what was the first show that you did? What year was it?
2005. I did provincials. I won junior and I won a middleweight.
Oh, damn. I didn't realize 2005 was your first show. Because I think I first heard of you, was it 2011 that you did the show with your brother Brad?
Yeah, 2011. We prepped together in 2000. After 2005, I probably prepped 2008, 2009, or 2007, 2008, and I didn't do a show. So I did lots of preps that I didn't do. Show, something come up, whether it's school, I had money type of thing, it costs a lot of money. So in 2010, we both were being coached by a local guy, Andy Pratt. So he was coaching both of us, and we had a full prep, doing very well, looking crazy. And we decided to came down with the flu that we caught in the house because we're living together. At 3 weeks out, we pulled out. And then in 2011, that's when two of us competed together, and he won light heavy, I won middle, and then we went against each other in the overall. He beat me by a point.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so then I came back with a vengeance in 2012 when he wasn't in it, and I won it.
Right.
Which it kind of worked out because I was just as happy as him winning than if I won, because I knew that I would come back, versus I knew that would be Brad's only one and only show, because it wasn't really for him. The diet and stuff wouldn't really for him. He's still trying to get over 2011 show.
Yeah, I see him around sometimes, so I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, that was a traumatic experience for him. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so he realized at that point the bodybuilding wasn't for him just because of the diet. He still trains and stuff. He likes to train, just be strong, but eat what he wants. And of course, some people just don't have it. Genetically, he can be a pro. He could have been. He got the gifts. 100%. He got the gifts. Even in 2011 show, just standing there 100%. Absolutely. But I mean, not everyone's bred for this,
Yeah.
and you got to have the discipline. And you know, the whole diet thing, man, is the hardest part. It's more mental than physical, right?
Well, it doesn't seem that hard for you, man, because like you stay in shape literally all year. I've never seen you even close to out of shape. So
I
that
don't
kind of
even,
brings us to the Flex Lewis. So
yeah,
how many weeks out were you before you decided you were going to do the Flex Lewis? And yeah, what made you want to do it?
yeah. So I contacted my coach, James Sterling, who's I'm working with. I basically, we threw around the idea to do the Flex Lewis and the Canadian Nationals starting 12 weeks out. That was the game plan. So he got everything ready for me, and I was going to start, and I started for a week or two, and I just, my head wasn't in it. Like the last time I competed before that was 2016, and I just find with this sport, man, the longer you're off stage, the less of you just kind of lose that motivation for the stage, and you kind of forget what it feels like.
Yeah.
That's why I think that, you know, don't do shows too frequent, but you definitely don't want to do too long of apart, you know, too long shows apart, just because you kind of lose that drive for it. And that's basically what happened, man. Like I really never had no intentions to compete. I don't even know if I was going to compete again. And, you know, but I just lived the lifestyle. I just eat the same meals every day. I prep my same 2-3 oatmeal meals, chicken, rice. I mean, to me, is like, that was lifestyle. So I always eat, sleep, and breathe bodybuilding. A massive fan of bodybuilding, eating the food as a bodybuilder, taking the supplements, you know, protein, you know, just doing everything all the time and training every day like a bodybuilder, living just consistent 24/7, but never had that drive to really get on stage. I was never in a rush and I really cared about getting on stage. So basically that was the game plan. And like I said, I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm not going to do it. And then I'd say, well, I made a trip home, went trip to PEI, missed meals, never trained for 5 or 6 days, ate like twice a day. You
Was
know,
that at 12 weeks out?
no, that was closer. I'm just going to say probably, what, 7 weeks out, and then probably 5 weeks. 5 weeks out. I think went to PEI 5 weeks out, and just like I said, never trained for 5 days. Ate like once or twice a day. Went to the breweries and stuff like that. And just, you know, enjoyed a little vacation, because at that point, I mean, I wasn't doing the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so and when I went home, I'm gonna guess, like I said, about 7 weeks. I think it was about 2 weeks apart, and same thing, right? I mean, I was out on the boat back home, and just like having barbecues and just eating crap, and just which is not what I usually do. But I mean, I had never had no intention of doing the show, so like I'm gonna enjoy this little vacations and you know, come off my everyday routine, because I'm so structured all the time when it comes to food and training. Like I usually don't skip a beat. Like, and it's the year after year after year. It has nothing to do with like taking a week off here and there, slipping, you know, whatever. That's not going to do anything for someone that's been living basically almost like a robot for years, because that's how I know, right? With the structured routine with the food and training. But so when I got back from PEI, I think I tossed around the idea of doing it and not doing it, I'm going to say about 10 times.
Yeah.
One day I'm doing it, and then I would, you know, do cardio, do my like low carb probably for 3-4 days, and I'd be like, nah, fuck this. I don't want to. And then, you know, like no one knew what I was doing, so there's no pressure. So that always works best for me. I don't like having a lot of emphasis going into a show and having pressure and being like, okay, you know, it's 12 weeks out. This is what I'm doing. You know, I'm a structured robot now for 12 weeks, and I'm locked in. As soon as I don't know, it could be just, it's all mental, right? As soon as you kind of lock yourself in, that's when it becomes hard, right?
Yeah.
Versus if I live the lifestyle like I do, because I got the muscle for years and years of training. And when I'm actually enjoying it, and it's not like so much pressure and structure of, okay, I got to do this contest, or there's people that know, everyone knows I'm doing this contest. That's when kind of things change a little bit for me. So it kind of got to be on my free will with zero pressure, just come into the show and do it. And that's basically what happened with the Flex, right?
Cool. Yeah, right on, man.
Yeah.
And obviously it ended up going your way.
Yeah. Like, you know, at 3 weeks, but 3 weeks out, kind of, decided that I'm going to, I just did low carb, up the cardio a bit, start changing, man. Every day I just responded. Every day I just responded, looking tighter, looking better, looking tighter.
So because you're so lean all the time, like when you say you drop the carbs a little and added some cardio, like what does that look like for you? Like how low do your carbs get when like you're really trying to get in contest shape, and how high does your cardio get?
Say cardio was at about a half hour, but then I went to 45 minutes, say for a week or so. Like there was nothing structured. Like I kind of just went random, right? I got a treadmill here at the condo, so I would just go in the mornings, and then I'm like, okay, it's 3 weeks out, so I'm gonna do 45 minutes, and then just a walk, and then for a period of time I went up to an hour for like 2 weeks. And I started losing weight pretty fast. So like, and my carbs were probably say 2/3 a cup of oats and like some almond milk, blueberries and stuff, and like chia seeds, protein powder, like overnight oats type of thing. That kind of changed to, okay, a half a cup. And then I, later on I put it to a 1/3 of a cup. Rice again was probably at a 2/3 of a cup, went to a half cup. So then, going towards the end, my carbs were 1/3 of a cup, say, of oatmeal and half cups of rice, like 5 carbs a day. And then my cardio, like I said, I went up to an hour for a bit. And like I said, I just started getting, like, I was lean, fairly lean, even in PI. And for my birthday was September 24th. And I was still like, so September 24th. When was the flex? Was the 14th?
October 5th.
Was it?
Yeah, October 5th.
The 5th. So the 24th of September, I wasn't doing it. And it was my birthday. I went to the Keg, and I ate that place out. And I ate 3 slices of Billy Miner pie, and just like, again, and it wasn't about cheating. It was, I literally wasn't doing the show then, right?
Right.
I think that was the last time I was like, and then it was after that, and I was like, no, something's telling me to do it, man. So I'm like, fuck it. So I basically just went balls to the wall then, right into the show. A couple of days later after that, I sent pictures to my coach. I said, you think we can, I think it was 10 days out. And then we went to a peak week. And yeah, we just start changing every day, start sending pictures to him every day, and looking tighter, looking better, looking tighter, looking better. And that was it. It was the rest was history. Like I said, we nailed the peak week. We came in and just made fast changes pretty quick,
Yeah, you looked fucking insane up there, bud, for just coming out of nowhere and having like a mini prep like you did.
Yes, it was. It was like a mini prep, right? And I just decided to get on stage.
And
Yeah,
funny thing
I was at that show.
So
I had a client friend there, Nathan Demers. He was prepping for that show. He prepped for quite a while for that show, and we didn't know of anyone else really doing it. We thought it was going to be kind of just go in and clean house for him. And then he was looking real good all the way along, his best ever for sure. And then I saw Friday morning that they announced you were going to do the show. Word got out, and I saw that, and I was like, oh damn, because I knew I'd become familiar with you at your Gladiator performance.
Right.
But, yeah, you were shredded and very so balanced. So I knew when they said that you were going to do the show, I was like, oh damn, how much to Nate? And so I went up to his hotel room and took a look at him. It was around 5 p.m. on Friday, and he just looked awesome. His conditioning was nutty. He was ready, and I showed him his pictures. He was real happy about how he looked, and I said, I'm glad you're happy with how you look, because now I've got a little bit of bad news.
Yeah.
Dave's doing the show, and he's like, oh fuck, really? But because he's a big fan, he's seen you before too, and but he looked great. You guys really put on a great show. It was a small show, but you guys really rocked the house. Both of you had such sick conditioning. I think that was probably some of the best conditioning that those people will ever see.
Yeah, and it was an amazing experience. And like looking back at it now, I mean, I wouldn't have changed anything. I'm so happy to do it. Like not only the feedback and stuff getting from the judges and Flex Lewis and John De La Rosa, which was an honor. It was crazy because I was, big fan of those guys for a long time. But even the camaraderie, like even talking to like Nathan stuff backstage and everything, all the guys were awesome. And just getting that just getting back into that environment and just getting on the stage again, man, and just posing and just having a blast, at these shows, these regional shows. And, there's so much energy, and it's so many, like, people are just local and they're so down to earth and everything. It was an awesome put off show. And like, it was a lot of good athletes there. Right. So part of me is just like, I was so happy that I did it, just because if it added to the excitement of the show and the quality of the show. It was, it was awesome, man.
So did you know right after you won the overall at the Flex that you were going to do nationals?
No.
Yeah.
I had no intent. I really had no intentions. Like, I didn't feel it.
Right.
Everyone came up to me, and Heather was like, all right, well, you know what? She was like, so who's going to Canadian Nationals with you in 2 weeks? I'm like, maybe my girlfriend. I don't know. Like, and then everyone's like just assuming that I'm going to do it, right? And just the feedback just assumed that I'm just going to go do nationals because it's 2 weeks out, and then getting the feedback, talking to John Del Rosa, and he's like, "Promise me, bro, you're going to do nationals. Like, you got to go do it. Like, just do it.
Put the pressure on you."
Right, all that pressure is like, promise me, man, you're gonna go do it and all this stuff, right? And I promised them. I did. Right. I said yes, I'll go, right? And then Rudy, the head judge, the same way. Heather, like all Tijan LeBon, like all these guys, they're all wanted me to do it, and they're like, my God, you got to do it. It's only 2 weeks, so. But again, I mean, I never had any intentions of getting on stage this year, period, right? So I wanted to do the show just more of a motivator to get back on stage, but I never had any intentions to go to nationals. But just riding the high, man, after the show, that killed like 4 to 6 days after the show, just riding that high and staying motivated.
I just want to say something before you continue, just for people who are watching that, like, maybe haven't competed before or anything like that. Like, Dave's talking about how people were telling him just like, oh, it's just 2 weeks away. Like, you got to do it. But first of all, Dave was absolutely peeled out of his mind for the Flexibles Classic. Like, he looked fantastic. Holding that condition for 2 weeks is physically hard, but it's really mentally hard to do. Like, especially after you get to a prep, you do the show, which was like in your mind probably at the time was your final destination, like you said. Like, you didn't really plan on doing nationals after, and then people put all this shit in your head that you got to stay in shape and do it like an even way higher level show. Like, it's not just as easy as like, oh yeah, I'll just stay in shape and do it. It's like you got to endure 2 more weeks of basically hell to stay there to go to a show where you don't know if you're going to get your ass kicked or if you're going to win the whole thing or what's going to happen, right? So, but anyways, yeah, just continue on.
Yeah, well, and again, right, the pressure came in, right? Yeah. So, like, which I don't work well under pressure, so people just assuming and being like, oh, Dave Miller's going to go, showing up at the Canadian National, Dave Miller's showing up at the Canadian Nationals. And which that's not how I roll. I just don't, that's not my style. I don't like that. Lock myself in pressure and it's all or nothing, it's, I'll put the work in on my terms. I'll put my head down and put the work in. That's not a problem, but there's a lot of outside pressure to perform or look a certain way or to get, a certain placing or to win a show or whatever. That's not how that don't work for me. Yeah. So I that's why I wasn't really giving anyone a really straight answer, just because I didn't really want that to be a part of it. And yeah, I mean, it was hell, because I got the flu on top of that.
Oh yeah, always happens.
So man, I was rough shape, right? I got like sore throat, I couldn't swallow, I was stuffed up in the head, I couldn't breathe. So you throw being low percent body fat like that, getting leaner as I'm going, still putting the work in, but then dying with the head cold and just achy and just want to sleep. I never had energy, man. There's days I couldn't even take one step forward, honest to God, right?
Oh yeah.
But that's just the way it is. So yeah, I was feeling like crap. So
yeah, man, no doubt, because I know what you do to your clients just from being around them. So and I know that you prep yourself in the same way, and your coach has the same mentality that you do with your clients, and it's brutal. Like Luke, one of your clients, is one of my best friends, and I'm with him almost every single day. And like when I see his meal plan, like what you put him through, I'm just like, fuck, I would never get coached by you, bro. Straight up, man. Yeah.
You're gonna suffer.
Oh, dude, it's unreal, man. But yeah, you did it, and you were definitely leaner and tighter coming into nationals than you were at the Flex, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Right on. So was that your first pro qualifier?
I actually did nationals in 2014.
Oh, okay. I thought you might have did one before. Yeah. So how did you do in 2014? I have no idea.
Yeah, I didn't really consider that. Like, I mean, I went up just to see what it's all about. You know, get my feet wet. Conditioning was okay. I was the CBBF at the time. They changed the classes around. It was like a light middle, then a middle, and then a light heavy. But what happened was they took out one of the classes, and I only weighed in, I think, $180. No, what was yeah, I don't know. It was like low 180s or something, and I got thrown into 30 guys in the light heavies.
Oh fuck!
Who was weighing like most of them were my height or shorter, weighing 198.
Yeah, yeah.
Prince was at that show. Prince got second place out of 30 guys or 29 guys, whatever it was. He got second place, and I got like fifth call out or something.
Oh yeah, dude. That's like everyone's first nationals, though.
Yeah, it's a real first nationals, and like I was talking to some judges afterwards. One being Glenn Casey from back in Newfoundland. I was talking to the other judges as well, and they feel like my physique did get overlooked. It got missed. You know, I was kind of back into the darkness a little bit. I didn't really stand out, and I didn't really make myself very visible. It was kind of an intimidating experience.
Oh yeah, man.
Line up against 29, 30 guys. You know,
and you're 20 pounds lighter than everybody.
Yeah, and you know that as much as I evolved greatly since then. I mean, even me and Prince competed together at the Gladiator in 2016. There's, you know, 1 point controversy there between us with the Gladiator, but
yeah, I fucking know what that's like with him too, bud.
Right? So, so it's you know.
Well, we've all competed against Prince then, have we?
Yeah, we all competed against Prince, right?
We've all got second to Prince.
Yeah. Right.
Have we all out conditioned Prince too while doing it?
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. More likely.
Yeah. It is what it is, man.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it is what it is. You know, it's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Which I was totally fine because my main goal was to win the Atlantic, so I didn't give a shit about the Gladiator. You know. Yeah, that was just for fun. But anyways, it was great. It was an amazing experience. But like what I took out of that was, okay, Prince placed second in 2014 over 29, 30 guys. I got fifth call out. But yet 2 years later at this show, you know, people said I won. People said he won. 1 point difference between two of us. So I'm like, okay, where have I gone in 2 years from 2014 and being fifth, sixth call out to him being second place, to him only beat me by a point at a local show. So, yeah, I mean, you know, that I learned a lot from that whole experience. And now in saying that, going into this Canadian Nationals, you know, I did have that a little bit in my mind, even though I evolved so much since 2014 and I'm the same physique. But you still, when you go through that experience and you know, it's all business, you're up on stage with 30 guys and it's like, they're just calling you out 5 and you're literally never got a chance to do anything, man. Like,
it goes fast.
It went so fast, right? And I was just standing there and all of a sudden I hit a couple poses and they're calling 5 randoms out at a time and you just go back and all of a sudden, nope, first call out, second call out, third call out, fourth call out, fifth call out. And it was like, you know, I was shocked. I was disappointed. I was standing there. I was looking, and I was just in a daze. And I decided not even to go back to the night show or nothing. I just left there, you know, with a bad taste in my mouth. You know, I wasn't pissed off because it is what it is, bodybuilding, right? But I didn't. I went to the mall and I just ate my face off and shopped and went back to Newfoundland the next day. I didn't bother to go back to the night show.
Yeah.
You know, and there's some people that know me that was like some photographers, you know, they even brought that up this weekend. They remember.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward back to this weekend past.
Yeah.
So going into this nationals, did you feel like a bit more confident after doing the flex and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, being the best in the, you know, being the best people in the country, the best athletes, I mean, you don't know what you're going to stand against, right?
Oh yeah, dude, I know.
You know,
100%,
yeah, you know, and just looking at Instagram or looking at, you know, by knowing names and stuff like this, like there's a lot of people that I knew that got great physiques that are going into this show, whether it be in my category or other categories. So you never really know what's going to happen, right?
Well, you hear about 10 guys before shows like this that are going to get their pro card, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? But I know that after prejudging happened there, just about everybody I talked to had you picked to win the pro card, man.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then it really, I personally thought it was between you and Steve Didashak, the guy who won the heavyweight division.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
From what I saw from the super heavyweights, obviously they were huge, but like when you put their conditioning next to like you and Steve's conditioning, it was like,
and shape and symmetry and aesthetics, conditioning, all of that, to me, that overpowers just a massive giant block. You know what I mean?
Dave, how much did you weigh?
I weighed in at exactly 190. But then I carved up and I kept water in. So I'd say I was on stage. I actually think I went up. I think I went on stage 192. I say about 193.
So you didn't cut water at all?
I cut it back a bit, but I didn't cut it much, right?
Yeah.
And then I had like some regular Diet Cokes, like a lot of Coke Zeros with like burger fries, carrot cake. The day before prejudging, a lot of steak and loaded baked potatoes. And because with my body, conditioning and dryness is not an issue. What is an issue with me is that if I lose too much weight, it's really hard for me to fill my physique out. It just loves the carbs. And even now, man, like I look in the mirror now and I'm still eating clean, but I'm having a little bit of something if I want it. Which I think just comes along with comes along with maturity. Like, how your first show, you kind of eat everything under the sun, donuts, ice cream, everything you see, you eat. But like with me now, it just, you kind of hold your conditioning, and it's only now I'm starting to fill out.
Yeah.
Like really fill out.
Really pushing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and like I was even talking to Zane Watson and stuff, and he had me winning the show. He's like, you're the most conditioned guy on stage and stuff like this. And he's like, it's your show in my opinion, blah, blah, blah. And was talking to him, and he was like, man, like, how much water you doing and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you're like me. He's like, and I tend to hold back a bit, which can kind of, kick me in the ass sometimes. But he said, when I went to Toronto, I went all out, like burger fries, full sugar drink and stuff like this. And then I actually ate, grandma made me a full carrot cake. I ate the whole thing, and I only start to fill out then. And it's pretty much, it's funny because I did that before I was even talking to him.
Yeah, the carrot cake technology.
Carrot cake technology, yeah.
Yeah, it's legit. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's what I hear from people. Like people who get shredded, it's always the same story, kind of like they don't really need to cut water. Like they got to eat a fuck ton into the show. And like I think that's the difference between your conditioning and most people's conditioning, is that like you really get peeled. Like
right.
Like not just lean like most people get. They got to take a diuretic, cut water to look half decently dry. Like you're dry when you show up 2 days before the show.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And so So I think that's why my weight climbed, just because I was eating so much goddamn food Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And like I said, not all clean food, like not junk besides the carrot cake or whatever. But, then I just went up in weight because, like I said, I mean, just drinking the couple like full cans of regular Coke and Coke Zero and stuff like this, it just really worked, and it really filled me out. And even then, I could have even pushed a little bit more.
Yeah.
To come in a little bit more fuller, right?
You could have been fuller. You definitely could have been fuller.
Definitely could have been fuller, and that's where my body's at, man. It's insane, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, I think the guy that came second to you was a little bit fuller than you. But you smoked him on condition. But like that's why I knew you could have been fuller.
Yeah.
Right.
100%. Right? But, because just like I said, either way, I'm going to keep my conditioning and dryness, so I could push the carbs more. I could have pushed that a little bit more, instead of playing it safe. And like it was after I talked to Zane, and I worked with my coach and what was Zane, some feedback from Zane, because a lot my body's very similar to his, where a lot of times he can play it safe and come in a little bit flat, but he can afford of going, just like he said to me, and he don't know me from Adam, being like, man, you seem the type of physique that is like mine, where you can literally eat what you want, everything from morning to night for like 4 days and never spill over.
Yeah.
Right. And that's pretty much, so it's pretty cool. Like, this is basically the third peak week that I did with my coach. So we pretty much nailed the nationals, flex, and then the guest posing that we did last year.
Yep.
And so like each one we're getting better, and we're pretty much nailing it. And he always keeping little notes to make sure, okay, well, if we did, you know, second meal for prejudging, if we did the burger, fries, and carrot cake, say for that meal, and one can of regular Coke, well, then the bedtime meal, we're going to do a loaded baked potato, and we're going to do a steak. We're not going to do another burger meal. And just keep a note of that to see right down to the small little details what we done. So then we'll know and be only better for the next show, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like that's because, like, you know, if you weigh this much and you did this, yeah, 100%. So what's next, man? Like, so obviously you didn't get the pro card, but like, man, you got to keep going here. Like,
Oh yeah, no.
Whoa, hold on. Yeah. What happened? What happened at the night show? You're in the overalls. You established that you won your class.
Yeah.
Then what happened?
Okay, yeah. So when I got off stage, some gentleman pulled me aside and he said, "You've been selected for this prestigious award." And he gave me a little bit of history rundown. It was Winston Roberts Award, and so basically, he's like, "You've been selected to win this award." He's like, "So whether you win your pro card tonight or not, you're going to stay on stage or whatever. Just stay close." He's like, "Because you've been selected for this award for the most potential bodybuilder's most potential." And you know, I was honored. I didn't really know much about it. He's like, "This award don't be given out very, very often, or you know, it's very rare." So I'm like, you know, it's cool. And I didn't even know what trophy it was. I didn't know anything about it, right? So I mean, I didn't even know about this award. And some other guy 5-10 minutes later told me the exact same thing. He says, "Just make sure you stay around. Like, regardless of what happens, of you know, whether you win your card or not, you're going to win this award." So yeah, I mean, I waited around, and you know, Steve did a check out on stage, and he did his thing, and then the super heavyweight did his thing. Pumped up a little bit, waited around. We went on stage, and we did our mandatories. Then they called us off stage. I thought it was going to be longer. I feel like they kind of made their mind up. You know, it wasn't.
So was it just one round of posing?
It was like one round of posing. I felt that that's the direction they were going in. Just feedback, and even in a couple of weeks, even at the flex and stuff, it's kind of the direction that they're going to go in for more of a super guy for this show. More of the big super heavyweight guy, because I know the last show they you know, Cody drove up on his pro card as light heavy, so you know, represent 212. So I felt like, you know, just from feedback and it's just hearing a couple things from the head judge and stuff, like I felt like that's what they were going for, is super, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
You know, so we basically just waited around, and they called, you know, that guy's name. Me and Steve kind of looked at each other, just kind of, you know, we thought it was going to be one of us, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%.
It was just because of feedback from every soul that was there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so when they called this guy's name, I didn't even know this guy, you know, and then when they called his name, I didn't know. I was like, is that for the pro card? Like it's almost like what happened, right? But
yeah.
You know, it is what it is, man. It's bodybuilding, so it's all good, you know.
But just nobody was talking about him after prejudging, man. Like, I was messing around because I saw so much about you and Steve. Yeah, I didn't see shit on the super heavies. Like, couldn't even find a picture. So I texted a few guys I knew that were there, and literally the response I got was like, "Meh." They were okay, right? Yeah. So I just automatically in my head wrote them off for the pro card and just assumed it was between you guys. And like I told you, like I had you pick just based off your conditioning and everything else. But yeah, that's just the way the cards fell for you.
Right, and that's it. That's like, again, you can say whatever you want, and you know, someone could be upset and this and that, but there's no point, man. It's bodybuilding. You're standing in front of 5 judges, whatever direction that they want to go in, whatever the, you know, the head judge, you know, they got the last and final calls. Almost like whatever they're, you know, because when you're comparing someone of that mass, like 295, 6 foot plus 290, just a wall standing there, versus like more of a steady bodybuilders to represent, say, the 212, it's like comparing nighttime and daytime, right?
Yeah, it's apples and oranges, man.
It's total apples and oranges, right? I mean, it's not even the same bodybuilding, and that's why there's two divisions in the pro leagues, because it's not even the same bodybuilding, you know.
Well, I think the fact of the matter here, man, is that we just need more pro cards given out in Canada. Like, you got 3 guys up there at that caliber that obviously all look like pros. Like, I mean, you're a top level guy. I know Steve has won his class at pro qualifiers for like, I don't know, like 10 times or something. Yeah, 7 times.
7
so
times,
I mean, like, what do you got to do to prove yourself? You know what I mean? Like, you're the
well,
best.
Yeah.
You know?
They should have at least one more card. They should have one more card at least.
Man, I think at the American Nationals, they give out 2 in every fucking class. Like, you can get second place and get a pro card. Yeah. And we got to win the overall over here. I don't know.
Right. No, I mean, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if we're only given so many through the IFBB, or like we're restricted, or like because of the population of less. I don't know the insides and outs of how it works.
That sounds probably like a probable reason.
Right? Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing I can really kind of sum it up as. You're only given this many cards, so do what you can, or pick who you can with those for those cards. Because I mean, when you look at, you look at Steve, for example. I mean, when Steve and Dura was battling out, like, he beat Dura, and you know, Dura beat him, and then they went back and forth with like the Nationals, Ben Weeder and stuff like this, and like Dura got his pro card, but Steve, you know, this is 7 times win this class. Is almost like, you know, what else do I have? What else do I have to do, man?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? You know, and even 3 or 4 years ago, Chris Aceto even said, like, Steve Diddleshack and El Dura should be 212 pros 2 years ago. He said that like 3 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And still, you know, still in Canada trying to get a pro card, you know. So it's just, I don't know. Like, they just need more. They need to figure it out. I don't know. Like, I don't know if there's a way to get more cards, but they definitely need to go do what the CBBF did. And a lot of times, like I said, like in 2012, for example, like Antoine Villon won, they gave him the card for, say, Super, but the second card went to Greg Doucette.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there should be at least an option there if they feel like there's more deserving people. Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, you know, it's especially to represent your company or your country too as well, because I feel, you know, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I feel like if whatever direction it went this year, or like at this show with me and Steve, both of us will be ready to basically hop on to the 212 stage and actually look good against other 212s, in my opinion. Whether it's 6 months down the road, or whether it's 3 months down the road, or whether it's just a year down the road, to represent Canada, you know.
Yeah. Are you going to do a pro qualifier in the near future?
I'm going to do the I was actually throwing around the idea of probably doing Romania or Iceland in 2 weeks. But just, you know, go down and go for it and go get it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do off season now, let my body just rest and recover and take it easy. Still put in more work, because I got a sports and wellness doctor now. Because I couldn't train my back for 7 months this year. A lot of pain in my back. So my back's feeling good now, and I'm hitting back twice a week, thickness and pull days. And I'm working with him, doing a lot of cupping, a lot of deep tissue, and it's feeling really good. So, you know, I'm going to hit that hard to make up time. And just overall, man, I'm just going to, you know, hit it really hard, follow everything 210%, and then come into North Americans, and I'm going to say I'm going to go get it, because I can see, like, if I was at this show just sitting right on the seat of getting this, I'm going to be that much better and actually do a full prep, full protocol, full prep, going into North Americans, and this is going to be a different sight again, right?
Absolutely.
So I just did these North Americans, and going to Pittsburgh was a great experience. You'll love the city.
Yeah.
Their format of the show, where they give each class, or in your weight class, 2 pro cards. That makes it very appealing, because I mean, I think you and I have a lot in common in this regard, but you see the opportunity where you're going to be compared against guys in your own weight class, which is a more fair comparison, and you're confident that you can win that comparison. But if it had to come down to going against another super heavyweight, that's like apples and oranges. That's like, you know, as they say, David and Goliath.
It's a different ball game, man, and that's the reason why that, you know, Derek Lunsford and, like, you know, all these guys, Sean Clary and all these guys. I mean, they're elite athletes, but they're short, right? So pound for pound, you look at pound for pound, man. Like, what is it, like 10 pounds per inch or something, just on average of a human being, just say, for example, something random like that, right? So like if you look at it, I mean, it's just a different, man. That's why bodybuilding, you're not going to have like a Sean Clarita going against a Ronnie Coleman. Right. Or even a Flex Lewis, like Flex is a little different because he's moving up to the open now. He's just genetically right. But I mean, you got all these guys, man, Zane Watson and all these guys, even like Jose Raymond when he was in the sport and everything. Like they're not tall enough, man, to be able to put on enough muscle. They're thick as fuck. They can't get any more thicker without your body going in a negative direction, right? Mm-hmm. And looking like shit, wide waist, and you're gonna look just. They're going to take all your aesthetics will go away because you're just a short block. You can't go up and stand up against, and you don't have to. And that's why there's two categories. You don't go up and stand against an open bodybuilder.
Can I ask? I'm not sure. We don't want to keep you too long, but
no, it's fine.
You want to talk about what you feel you need to, work on between now and your next show to slam that door shut?
Yeah. Well, the only feedback I got, even talking to Rudy, the head judge. The only feedback I got at the Flex, he's like, he gave me all positive feedback. He said, your shape is crazy. Your symmetry. He's like, when you're on stage, my eyes, like, all of our eyes just drawn on you. You look like a 215, 220-pound bodybuilder on stage. He said, your legs and your small, tight waist, shoulders, arms, chest, everything, your side chest pose, the front side, everything. He's like, the only critique that I would tell you is that if you're standing against a short or a short core waist person, they're going to have a naturally like a thicker back, right? Where I got a longer torso. Yeah. So it's really hard for a guy with a longer torso to build that, to naturally have that upper back thickness, right? So he's like, your back is shredded and conditioned, but if it was a bit thicker, with those glutes and hams and calves, there'd be no one touching you, right? So that's basically where I'm at now, is being like, okay, even though I got a long torso, I can still build the muscle. So I'm going to change up my workouts and do it back twice a week and focus on thickness, rows. The other workout, focusing on a lot of pulls, pull-ups, pull-downs, variations, and just get my back as big and freaky as I can. So when I diet down, it's going to be twice as good as what it was at Canadian Nationals.
Well, I think you're going to have great success with that, man, because like you said, like you've barely been training back this whole last year, and it still looked pretty damn good, right? So you get back to training it with a higher frequency and you can hit it hard, it's going to be something to see, man.
Yeah, and then it's like the whole, like, even like you want to talk about, like, protocols and stuff like that. Even like, I mean, I barely even took anything for this show, you know what I mean? So it's like, because I was in and out. There's days that I would take stuff, but then there are days that I would miss it. And no, I'm not doing a show. I'm not going to take this and that. So I go 2 or 3 days with it. So it's in my system, out of my system, in my system, out of my system. It was just a yo-yo, right? Because I just didn't want. I wasn't motivated to. I didn't want to take it.
Yeah,
right?
well, man, that's how you know you're just meant to do it, bro. Like when you can get away with that shit and still go to nationals and just sweep the floor with everybody. That was probably, they were all probably perfect for 20 weeks on every single thing that they did. Yeah. And you know what I mean? So yeah, dude, like I can't wait to see what you can do at North Americans. Just make sure you do North Americans, like don't do the Toronto Pro. I just don't think that just because I'm doing it. just stay away. Like don't get excited and jump into that one, okay?
Yeah, okay. I'll promise you I'll do. But if I do a Canadian show, I'll do the Vancouver, then I'll do North Americans.
My man.
So I'll leave out the June show.
Yeah, my man. Okay, respect, brother.
Right.
All right, man. Well, dude, we've had you for a while there now, man. I don't want to keep you all night, but you know what? We'd probably love to have you on again. Like once your off season's going, we can talk about how you're progressing and everything like that. And like we'd love to talk about other topics with you, man, because you've been a great guest. And yeah, just want to thank you for your time, brother. Randy, you got anything else for him before we go?
Yeah. Hey, Dave, tell people how they can find you. You're a coach, right?
Yeah, I'm a coach. You can follow me on Instagram, your Team DMF, Dave Miller Fitness, or my personal account is DMF_fitness 84. So it's they reach me either way, or email. My website is www.davemillerfitness.com. So all the information for, service prices, coaching packages, testimonials, all that, it's on my website as well.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm a coach too. You can find me on Instagram at Madsen Randy. Should be a message. Give us feedback about this.
Yeah,
me too. I coach people too.
There you go. Everybody coaches people.
Yeah, everyone coaches people.
Everyone coaches people.
Yeah,
but
man.
Listen, it's been a pleasure, and anytime you want me on, talk different topics or just shoot the shit about anything bodybuilding, man, be more than happy to. I live, eat, sleep, breathe this shit at 24 hours and watch YouTube. If I'm not eating, I am watching YouTube. Everything's bodybuilding related.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Same with us, bro.
I know, man. I know.
Yeah.
Every time I'm on your story, all I hear is Dave Plum in the background eating your meal.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And that's why we wanted to do this, man, because there's not really any podcast to kind of give amateurs a chance to, get their name out there and stuff. So that's the whole reason why we started this, is just because we love the sport and we just want to help people get known, and we just enjoy doing it, right? And that's it. That's all it is. So.
Well, you know what? It's cool too, because you can always look back at, because a lot of the amateurs going to be on this channel are going to be pros soon enough, and when you look at, okay, this is winter amateur, so this is all good. This is going to be on winter amateurs on YouTube versus, okay, now you're pros up in the pro ranks and probably get back on again, talking pro shit.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Morgan and I are
Man.
both on our way.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
All right, guys. So we'll leave it there for today.
Awesome.
All right, man. We'll talk to you soon, Dave. Thanks a lot, brother.
Not a problem. Thanks, guys.